The most hated MC versus the most well-treated protagonist by their respective authors, a matchup that I think people tend to sleep on for some reason. To make it quite fair, we're gonna match the pre-calling game arc Yuji Itadori versus none other than Baki Hanma, as both are the strongest teenagers in their schools in their respective worlds, serving as the pinnacle of raw human strength, so I think the matchup is pretty interesting to say the least. Today we're gonna go through their strength and go through how the fight would go, the different outcomes, and how their skills collide with each other. But before that, please show some love and like and subscribe the video. It would help the channel greatly and definitely would motivate me to keep going as we are just getting started. Lastly, thank you so much for the support shown so far. Now, Yuji Itadori is a grade 2 sorcerer slash a grade 1 candidate sorcerer. He is the perfect example of the idea of someone possessing a heavily restricted body and cursed energy at the same time. Even though that's not completely canon, but his raw physical stats match that of a heavily restricted fighter, so when it comes to his speed, he is quite inhuman as he was able to run 50 meters per 3 seconds without cursed energy. Later on, he was able to dodge a enemy attack that sacrifices speed for range. At that one time, he blitzed a random curse, adding to the feat of keeping up with many elite fighters in terms of speed. Without mentioning, he was barely dodging a piercing blood that moves at max speed, so we can safely assume that Yuji's speed scales to between supersonic to hypersonic most likely, while the others certainly made multiple mathematic mistakes, which makes it weird scanning JJK characters, but based on the Maki Mach 3 statement, we can assume that the elite fighters in JJK verse all operate around hypersonic to hypersonic plus speed. Now when it comes to his AP scaling, Yuji scales from a small building level without using cursed energy to multi-city blocks level and probably higher, especially after he unleashes his potential with Black Flash, given that he could later on match up with Shibuya Mahito while using 120% of his potential. Considering that Mahito is a special grade curse, and since it is stated in chapter 6 that the amount of power required to defeat a special grade is equal to multiple carpet and explosive, which has the range of several football feats, and Mahito obviously scales higher than that. So it's safe to put Yuji on multi-city blocks when it comes to his AP, but what makes him the toughest matchup for many fighters is his durability, as obviously it scales the same way to his AP as he withstood multiple attacks from Mahito and still kept going like nothing happened, from being slammed to the ground until it created the hole, to enduring Mahiro's body repel that literally destroyed Shibuya Station, to taking a blank flange from the special grade. And without mentioning his offense, as Yuji learned martial arts, specifically karate, from his grandpa, which explains his solid 1-2 good night hands, to his vicious malevolent ring domain expansion. I'm joking, okay? But the point is it enough to send the martial arts prodigy and the peak of raw human potential to sleep? Baki has been a prodigy, dangerously genius in martial arts and fighting in general since he was a child, as he can adapt and replicate any fighting style at any given situation. One of the crazy feats of his since a young age is being able to destroy the face of a monkey that could legit tank blade slashes from a guy who can chop trees in one blow. There are many crazy feats of grappler Baki, however, to be fair, the power scale in the early stages was not really consistent, but in Hama Baki it's different. His AP should scale to town level as he was able to completely body Biscuit Oliva, who scales to that. Not to mention Baki was able to cause an earthquake himself while training against Yujiro's imaginary shadow. To note that Baki can reach this level or higher when he activates his back, so in a sense you can compare it to Black Flash Yuji as both enhance their potential. But the most vicious thing about Baki is his speed, in my opinion, which is his best feat and what grants him the upper hand in his fights, one of them being the time where Baki struck 7 people which are all elite soldiers, including the middle guy at point blank range. It was so fast, not only they couldn't see it, but they didn't even realize he attacked them. Or during his fight with Biscuit Oliva, they literally turned invisible from how fast they were. And the best one, when he made 3 consecutive strikes in 0.02 seconds against Musashi, where people thought it was just one hit. Basically, Baki is at the speed level where if he is less than 20 meters away from you, you are potentially dead. He can kill you without you being aware of it. Adding to that, he matched the speed of Yujiro, who is said to be able to react and dodge a stroke of lightning. So both Yujiro and Baki with their demon backs, they should range to high hypersonic plus. Now when it comes to his durability, he would scale from multi-city blocks to town level as well, as he could tank multiple series hits from Yujiro, and you know he is that Yujiro Hanma who could literally stop an earthquake with his punch. And so with all that being said, how would it go against the most beloved MC in shonen right now, Yuji Itadori?
認めるよ、真人。俺はお前だ。
Before we state who is the favorite, we gotta mention how each one of them could possibly win. For Yuji, in order to win, he has to land consecutive black flashes on Baki, as he can do that 4 times in a row so far, and it is able to take down the likes of monsters like Mahito who scale to multi-city blocks level. Unlike Baki, who is arguably town level, possibly more, it's safe to assume that he could tank one, but I doubt he can do it consecutively, as each hit from Yuji weakens his opponent. But since he is down level, Yuji needs 100 times the output, considering Mahito is multi-city blocks level. Therefore, Yuji needs to not run out of gas and keep landing each hit, and each punch will weaken him eventually, as his punches targets the soul especially, and can alter the energy control of the opponent. That is if he hits him from the start though, which is really difficult considering Baki's immense speed and how untouchable he is. But supposedly Baki runs out of gas first, as Yuji's stamina can be considered as hacks due to how incredible it is, as he was able to keep fighting despite his liver being destroyed and on the verge of death. He still kept going to keep JoJo out of the other's way with the sole intention of saving Gojo. Without mentioning the recent chapter's feats, but we are talking about Shibuya arc Yuji here. So considering his incredible stamina that is slightly superior to Baki in my opinion, even though they are on the same level in terms of that, and we add the option that Baki takes the fight to raw strength like he did with Biscuit Oliva or Pickle, the longer the fight prolonged, the more the chances for Yuji to win is most likely, if he wins the stamina and durability battle that is. Now for Baki, the chances for him to beat Yuji are pretty solid. All he has to do is blitz him all right on the spot, as he could land hits before the opponent is even conscious, which is a guaranteed knockdown like he did to Yujiro. But I doubt Yuji will be knocked out for a significant amount of time, so in order to finish the plate he has to strike him lethally, which is also difficult considering Yuji's insane durability. But this is Baki we're talking about. He beats Yuji in both the terms of speed and experience and attack potency, not to mention his clear supremacy over Yuji when it comes to martial arts, so he surely can crack Yuji in this fight if he takes it seriously. That is why dodging Yuji's hits that would take so much effort and gas from Yuji to land one, so I guess the favorite here is Baki for sure. However, it's important to mention that Baki's feats that grants him the victory so far are very controversial. People argue that Yujiro didn't really stop the earthquake, nor did he dodge the lightning. If you don't include these two feats, the fight would be really close. Current Yuji, however, is very different. I think that's no discussion, as current Yuji can match Baki in speed and his AP is yet to be shown in the chapters, but his main advantage over Baki is his RCT alongside his enhanced curse techniques. That will prove difficult for Baki to handle. With that being said, we can conclude the video. Thank you so much for sticking in, and if you enjoyed this video so far, please support the channel and like and subscribe. It would mean greatly to me. Thank you, and stay safe out there. Peace.